everyone. Today I would like to welcome you all to today's seminar. As you all know, today's speaker is Mr. Sukumar Rajagopal. He is the Senior Vice President, CIO Head of Innovation at Cognizant. So before we start it, I would like to thank Sukumar Rajagopal because he has an extremely busy schedule and he has rescheduled some of his appointments to be with us today. And also I would like to thank Professor Rajagopal who released this talk for us. So to provide a brief profile of Sukumar, he has more than 22 years of IT experience, of which he spent more than 15 years in Cognizant. And he has rolled the award-winning Cognizant 2.0 platform. I think he will be talking a little bit about it at this session. Prior to that, he spent more than 10 years in North America and various countries in Kenyan roles, including that of practice head for manufacturing and logistics vertical. And Sukumar is also an avid blogger, so if you Google him, I think you will find a lot of blogs and other things from him. Apart from all this, he still manages to find time to pursue his passion in anthropology and culture. He is an associate at the Indus Research Center at Rajamutera Research Library, Chennai. And he also had his papers published in the journal by International Institute of Tamil Studies. So just to add my own note, I heard about Sukumar even before I joined Cognizant in 2002 because he was the first Chairman's Award recipient back in 1998. So as we have seen in our Cognizant case study in strategic leadership, I think he will be able to put a face to that case study in today's seminar. So I can keep telling so many things, but let me hand it over to Sukumar and let us give him a warm welcome. Thank you.
Yes. Go to record my session. So we get started. I'm going to be talking about innovation today, and we call it managed innovation. And the first time I mentioned this to a client, they said, that sounds like an oxymoron. How can you manage innovation? So we've been at it for a while now. So I'll take you through, I have about 6 or 7 slides. I plan to finish it in about 25 to 30 minutes. I believe I have an hour, so I can have half an hour for Q&A. First, I want to run a video for you all.
We gotta find a way to make this fit into the hole for this, using nothing but that. Let's get it organized. Better get some coffee going too, Tom.
CO2 gas is literally poisoning the astronauts with every breath in and out.
What's up, people? Look out now.
What's this?
That's what they gotta make.
Well, I hope you got the procedures for it right there.
That's it.
Hydroxide canister, 2 lithium hydroxide canisters, I'm sorry. A roll of gray tape.
Houston, filters in play. Since are really close. CO2 canister, select second.
I can hear it.
Houston, the CO2 level has dropped to 9, and it is still falling.
That is good to hear, Aquarius. Yeah, this will be.
Which movie is that from? Apollo 13. So this is the famous CO2 problem. Anybody familiar with that problem? as the short clip showed. I don't know how clear it was. When I did it at home, it was quite clear, but here somehow wasn't that good. So why is this important from an innovation perspective, this video?
Creativity.
Innovation crisis, okay?
Innovation for survival.
Innovation for survival, okay?
Quick answer.
Quick answer, okay?
You know what you want to do, but you don't know how to do it, and just do it.
Okay.
You
Yes.
innovate from what you don't think of routine uses. I mean, those are things which are already there, but you have never thought of that kind of usage. So you innovate to bring out new
Very
things.
good. Excellent. So the innovation was this. What is this? Duct tape. So this is one of the 13 things that saved the Apollo 13 program. So all they used was duct tape. I mean, there are other things they used, but you can think how silly this is. This is a life-saving thing. If they didn't do that square peg in a round hole, they wouldn't have come back alive. So, small innovations matter. That is the primary focus of my speech here. Because as soon as you hear the word innovation, the general tendency is to talk about breakthrough innovation. But as far as I know, there is no methodology that exists for you to produce breakthrough innovations like clockwork. Have you all heard any? I don't believe it exists, because if it existed, everybody will be producing breakthrough innovations by the wazoo, and we would have colonized planet Mars by now. The fact that we aren't doing that tells me that we don't yet have a method to produce breakthrough innovations. So where do we start? Right, we have a company of about 100,000 associates. As of last quarter, it's something like 93,500, but you can approximate it to 100,000. So how do you get innovation going in such a large company, and where do you start? I don't believe you can start with breakthrough innovation, although that might be the sexiest place to start. But this is not about being sexy, it's about producing outcomes like clockwork. So that is managed innovation. So how do we do that? I would like to propose a thing that I heard called as the head fake from Dr. Randy Posh. Anybody has seen the last lecture from Dr. Randy Posh? Few hands going up. I would urge you all to see this 1 hour and 20-minute video. It's on the lastlecture.com site. It's easily the best video you will ever see in your life. That's a guarantee. So I want to play a small clip from this speech.
Okay. And so one of the expressions I learned from my work, I love it, pertains to this, is experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. I think that's absolutely lovely. And the other thing about football is we send our kids out to play football or soccer or swimming, whatever it is. And it's the first example of what I'm going to call a head fake or indirect learning. We actually don't want our kids to learn football. I mean, yeah, it's really nice that I have a wonderful three-point stance and that I know how to do a chop block and all this kind of stuff. But we send our kids out to learn much more important things. Teamwork, sportsmanship, perseverance, etc., etc. And these kinds of head fake learnings are absolutely important. And you should keep your eye out for them because they're everywhere.
So that is the principle of head fake. I was exchanging some notes, and Professor Prasad sent me an email, and he was referencing a book called Obliquity. I haven't read this book yet, I plan to read it, but I think it is trying to gun for a similar kind of concept. The point is, you will observe in your real life experience as well that you cannot directly chase some outcomes. You have to achieve them indirectly. Money is one famous example. If you directly try to acquire it, you won't get it. But there are other methods to get it. That's the principle of head fake. So what we are saying is, we will start with a small. So what are we trying to do in Cognizant? We want to increase the footprint of innovation. I hope you will all agree that Cognizant is an innovative company. It is innovative because there is quite an amount of people that are innovative, and Cognizant has done a number of breakthrough innovations in its history, which is why it is where it is today. But that is not sufficient for us to be the leaders in innovation. We need to make most of our organization in participating in the innovation. Now I draw the circle outside, the blue circle goes outside the organization because we need to build an innovation network. We want to interact, build networks with academia, with other companies, our partners, so on. So it is an ecosystem, you can say. That's what we need ultimately for us to be successful. Companies like Procter and Gamble, many other companies have proven, and what is going under the term open innovation model is what everybody is attempting. So what we try to do is, we have 100,000 people. Can we apply the open innovation model in-house? Many of you, I am told, are from software backgrounds. And if you think about how you did innovation back in wherever it is that you are working, your boss said, hey, we have a problem we need to solve. And two guys in my team, the smart guys, I call them and say, hey, go solve it. And they do something and it gets solved. Meanwhile, the other people in the room who are also part of my team are not even participating. Maybe they have better ideas. Did we even bother to ask them? The systems aren't there to ask them, other than shooting an email to Cognizant and asking, how do I solve this problem? There is no methods that are effective methods that are available to tap into the energy of the entire organization or your entire team. If it is more than 5 people, you need better systems. With 5 people, you can probably walk around to their offices and ask them. But the moment you get bigger than that, it becomes harder. So we would like to, there is this debate that is going on about what is innovation, what is breakthrough innovation. There are pundits writing tomes of books about this and many people can't even agree what it is. So I would rather ask us to focus on what is the outcome of innovation. Instead of discussing what is innovation, what is it supposed to produce? So we use this thing that we call, this is the matrix, this is from the NASSCOM BCG. BCG, the famous consulting company, and NASSCOM put this together. If you look at any company, it has input, process and output. Correct? All companies take their input, apply their process, convert it into output and sell it into the market. Any company can be fitted into this archetype. Right? Now you can do innovation as sustaining innovation, enhancing innovation or breakthrough innovation. And you could be doing across any of these 3 dimensions. Now the problem, the fixation with the breakthrough is mostly here. Market-facing breakthrough innovation is what most people will talk about. You take any book on innovation, they are talking about that. No one has yet to publish any method that works consistently, but they will keep talking about that. So the iPod and the iPhone and whatever it is, the post-it note, there's just a few case studies with Walkman. That thing just keeps circulating. I believe that that is not sufficient. We need to hit all the 9 cells of this matrix for us to be able to say, I have an effective managed innovation program. So how do we do that? In Cognizant, we have all these groups, right? The yellow colored groups are the concept lab, the global technology office, which I believe you are part of. The various technology consulting groups with various practices. Cognizant 2.0, which I was part of, which is the process innovation. And there are innovation groups in every practice. And the enterprise transformation group, which is doing big ticket innovations in all 3 dimensions, breakthrough innovations. So this is the whole gamut of all the groups that are doing innovation within the company. And I see 2 broad models of innovation emerging. One is what I would call as the COE, or the Center of Excellence model. That is, catching hold of the 2 smart people and making them do innovation. That is the COE model. So these yellow colored groups are all filled with smart, experienced, talented people who are trying to look at the next big thing in innovation in those disciplines. The crowdsourcing model is the other model where I can engage the entire group. Can we use a crowdsourcing model to produce a breakthrough innovation? How many of you believe the answer to that is yes? Only a few hands go up, so I assume that most of you don't believe that to be the case. Cognizant Capital is one such program. So what we did is we rolled out an internal venture capital program. So what we did, we rolled out a business plan competition and invited business plans from across the company. We received 50 business plans. We were amazed at how many business plans we received. We took those 50 business plans, reviewed it as an internal venture capital board. We reviewed it and pared it down to about 20, to whom we gave free resources, people first, which we would call as the angel funding phase if you are familiar with the venture capital jargon. So we gave them 12 weeks and then some people resources, and they were supposed to come back with a proof of concept with clear customer interest confirmed. Then we pared that down from 20 to about 4. Then we gave them real dollars. In the Series B, whatever, Series A, then we pared that down to 2. And 2 of them have reached the final stage of the funding and they are doing extremely well. One of them has several customers already and is very, very successful. So you could produce breakthrough innovations using this model as well. Aside from the traditional get hold of, which would be the R&D departments of most companies, right? That is the COE model. Just recruit 50 PhDs and give them money and out comes breakthrough innovation. Actually, that doesn't happen, but that's what we do. Yes.
But even in this model, it's ultimately a small team which is working, not 50 of them together. So
no, the thing is, Cognizant Capital is a crowd model. We don't know who is going to submit the plan from the entire company. In a COE model, you pre-pick the people. You see the distinction, you pick, hey, R&D group has fixed set of people. You either be part of R&D or you are not. You are not allowed to work on. There's a difference. This is crowd. You are asking the entire company. Anybody. In fact, the guy who won the competition, no one had heard of before this. He had a brilliant idea, we funded him, he is doing very well. I'm sure a top-down model wouldn't have even attempted the problem that he was tackling. It wouldn't have occurred to management team to tackle that particular problem. Which is why crowds are important, because they are down in the field doing that thing. It's important to get that knowledge. Yes?
Is it important to target all the 9 cells?
I believe yes, but you could focus on some. The thing is, I will talk about why we need to do that. So ultimately, I'm sure you are all management students and you are all very keen, fascinated by innovation, you are targeting here. Correct? Market-facing breakthrough innovation. How do you get that? In a fail-proof manner. That is one problem. The other problem is, we are leaving too much money on the table, untouched, if we don't tackle all the 9 cells. You know why? We have 100,000 people. The benchmark we set is this year, 2010, that each associate should produce $1,000 worth of innovation impact. Guess how much is that? If every associate produced $1,000 of innovation impact, how much money is that? 100 million. 100 million. Would you not like that money? We are leaving that money on the table. In the wild goose chase, that is the market-facing breakthrough innovation. Then I would like to keep the 100 million in my pocket first. Take it. It's that. Not only that, think about it. This is what I think we would chase next year. Why not I chase $10,000 per associate? What is that number now?
Billion.
1 billion. Would you not like to have that in your pocket? How many breakthrough innovations can produce that kind of success in a consistent fail-proof manner? For you to produce $1 billion idea, people would kill for it. Literally. Very few companies can do that. I'm sure everybody will talk about Apple, and they have 3. in their entire existence. So it's not easy to produce that. So why we will chase that? I'm not saying this or that. I'm saying this and that. Mostly in the world of innovation, they don't talk about this and that. They are only talking about this. It's not correct in my opinion. So what do we do? So if you look at the bottom of this slide, at the account level, at the work group level, we have a crowdsourced model at the account level also. Every work group uses an idea management system and we run campaigns. Collect ideas from the associates and we implement them. Every month we run a campaign. We have benchmarks. You have to run 18 campaigns in a year. We'll track that closely. This is a framework that we will track. So this is a comprehensive change management program. So we think that managed innovation has three major components. One, it has to be a catalyst. The other, it is evangelist. It evangelizes innovations from one part of the company to the other. And it spotlights innovations that were not known to the company, were happening in small pockets of the company, and it brings them to life. The concept lab is a small group within the innovation group that pursues breakthrough innovation. They are working on building, somebody talked to me about ecosystems, so they are building the ecosystem with academia. So the first relationship we built is IIM Research Park. This is the IIT in Chennai. We are also, I don't know whether you all observed, last 2 days ago there was a press release from Cognizant on the future of work. So we have invested, created a future of work center in Carnegie Mellon University. We are also working on the future of work project with MIT. So we will be adding great institutions. We already work with IIM as well, but not in the field of innovation. So we are going to expand this ecosystem as time goes on. The idea management system runs on Cognizant 2.0. It uses a social media type system. Anyone in the group can submit ideas. We have 190 accounts. We have a total of around 700 clients. Out of that, 190 clients are in this change management program. We've already produced $40 million of impact. There's just lots of statistics over that. We train people. Every work group of 100 people, we believe you should have at least one trained person. So we take them through a formal innovation training program that runs for 2 days. We have these change agents that we call evangelists that will go out into the floor and talk, because everybody cannot be brought into a classroom. If I have to send all 80,000 people into a classroom for 2 days, that in and of itself will take 5 years. We can't wait till that. So we have these evangelists who will go out into the floor and propagate the importance of innovation. We do what we call as these innovation fairs. We go to each city and run 1 week-long event trying to raise awareness about innovation. We measure the awareness of innovation before and after, so we know whether the innovation fair has really made an impact or not. The Innovation Award is our spotlighting thing. We are participants in the NASSCOM Innovation Awards competition. We have made it to the top 5 in the last 2 years. This year we received 580 plus nominations. And this allowed us to gather up all the innovations that are going on in the company and spotlight them to people. We produce a book. This is a book that has become a huge hit. We have run some 3 or 4 reruns of this thing. It has a 360 page. It collects the top 20 innovations in the company in 2009. It was published in the first quarter. We are holding an annual innovation summit later this month, where we have key external speakers, brainstorming sessions, run conferences and so on. So that is the overall change management program that we are attempting. As you can see, innovating, even doing the small innovation is a new behavior. We all may be doing it under other names. For example, people call it continuous improvement, service improvement, this, that. But I believe all those need to be termed as innovation, so that every one of us can have innovation as a habit. And one day we can produce the breakthrough innovations ourselves as well. But we cannot start, except for the rare individual that comes. There are probably few one in 10,000, one in 100,000, I don't know what the number is, who can straight away land into the innovation matrix in the breakthrough quadrant. Not all of us can do that. So we need a method by which we will slowly graduate, first do small innovations and then over time become confident about our own abilities and then produce breakthrough innovation. So this is the model that we are trying. I believe, yeah.
So this number 580 plus innovations. So what is your criteria of how do you say what is an innovation for you in Cognizant? And is it restricted to innovations in software or any part of operations?
Good question. Has to be an innovation that fits into this matrix. You could be a business process, it could be a market-facing innovation, it could be a technology innovation, it could be a new tool that somebody has developed, anything. This is a generic framework, right? Can you think of anything that doesn't fit this? It's a what is called as an archetype. Most things will fit into this. I'm sure there are some exceptions that one can think of. So it has to fit here and it has to produce a dollar impact. So we calculate the impact that the innovation creates and tabulate that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
So this thing that we have, the innovation index, I want to spend a brief moment on that. We have to keep score. You're all in management. You all know that what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. Correct? So innovation, we have this thing called innovation index. This is not our idea actually. There is a global innovation index. It measures the innovation in countries. You can look it up on the internet. So we have taken that, some of our own ideas, and we measure innovation across 4 dimensions. What is the strategy, what is the infrastructure, what is the capability, what is the execution, and what is the output. The output has the maximum weightage, which has the dollar value. You can see that some accounts haven't managed to calculate what is the dollar impact. Because it isn't easy to calculate the dollar impact all the time, but they can still get a score. That particular column is unfilled. They lose some points because of that. The 50% weightage is allocated to the output of innovation. So we track this on a monthly basis and we publish that. So it has sort of become a peer-based competition. I would like to be on top within my practice, maybe at a company level. Today one of the accounts is at 95%. So every year it resets itself. January 1st it will become 0. Because innovation is not a process that stops in 1 year. You have to keep on doing it. So every year it will reset itself and you have to climb back to close to 100. So you have to keep on doing this every year. I can share this presentation with you after I finish this presentation. You don't have to take notes.
One question.
Yeah.
There is a metric there, number of ideas generated. How do you balance between quantity of ideas and the quality of ideas?
Yeah. So everything has a weightage, right? The weightage is more to implemented ideas. But if you all, those that are practitioners in the field of innovation, you know that the more ideas you get, the better innovation you are going to get. You cannot jump with the first idea you went into implementation. You have to generate a lot of ideas. So we want to encourage more people to generate ideas, and generating ideas is the first way in which you get into the innovation cycle. And you actually build confidence when you implement an innovation. So you want to encourage more people, and we have a benchmark for that also. How many ideas per associate you have to generate. So you will be compared against that. And you will get a score. Does that answer your question?
Probably I will ask.
Yeah. So it has a weightage. But the more weightage is given to implemented innovation that has an impact. Because that's what ultimately matters.
Becomes a benchmark for the quality of it.
Correct. Yes. Ideas per se are not that important, but they are important from building the culture. You want more people to generate ideas, not less people. So from that perspective, it is important.
Excuse me?
Yes.
The account champions and the innovation champions. So, as I understand it, you have a separate innovation team which is superimposed on your regular delivery teams?
Yes.
Or are they
These are all delivery people.
So
My
they-
group members' names are not even mentioned here.
So they have the responsibility of delivery and
Yes.
so how do you compare, the contribution levels, like what percentage of delivery versus what percentage of innovation?
No, it is a part-time job actually. It is not very clear. See, the innovation champion role is more at a strategy level, come up with the campaigns. The actual work of generating the ideas and implementing are done by the team members. So it is all part of the day's work. And there are some customers who have made it part of the contract saying how much innovation are you producing.
So are these rotational roles, as in different people in the teams, they take up these
Yes,
roles?
it can be rotated, yes. It does rotate. I mean, guy moves from this practice to that practice. It's good for us because they now become the innovation champion in the new practice. Yes.
So my understanding of it is that just the way many organizations have quality teams which actually go seed people inside projects, you would have innovative team members from your team who actually go into projects who drive the aspect of innovation within those projects, or at least introduce the aspect, and then also channelize the outputs and.
Yes, so we work closely with the practices themselves. So I have a small team. I don't believe that such functions can be centralized, but even outside that I will never get the money to an army of people, my opinions aside for the moment. So there is a small group of people who will work, so that, for example, there is a guy in my team who focuses on the BFS practice. He works with the innovation champions and implements the program. We start from the BFS leadership. First we start with them saying, what are you trying to do? Then drive the program down and have a bottom-up force in terms of evangelism and idea management and all that. If you're all students of change management, you already know that you need to attack from both fronts. You cannot have just top-down or bottom-up. You have to do both. So that's how it works. So we are more the advisors, I would say. Sometimes when we got started, we actually had to do a lot of this work and show people. But Cognizant being what it is, there are several groups which are already ahead of what the corporate program was trying to do. I believe this is my last slide, and I was at the half-hour mark as promised. So now we can be rid of our PowerPoint and answer some other questions. Yeah.
What kind of challenges you faced when you started this program, rolled out this program? Probably you can knock out that it's a well-defined, well-executed program today. But when you would have started, there would be
So, see, the thing is, whenever you are trying to change human behavior, that's a challenge in and of itself. Any new behavior that you are trying to introduce, it is a challenge. Because people, I don't know, I mean, many of you are not asking any questions, and I can see that maybe many of you are a bit skeptical about what it is that I am saying, judging from how you are looking at this thing. So that kind of skepticism is something that I did see. But once people start seeing the results, they start seeing the impact, they make a presentation to the customer saying, I produced $5 million of innovation this year. Guess what? The customer went and told their executives, and there are instances of some of these innovations that have gone to the board level. Customers are impressed that there is some trainee who has just joined the company has come up with an innovation. So the challenge is more from the perspective of a change. It's not a challenge, it is a big challenge and it has many facets. Yes?
Just an incident. 3 years back, we ran an innovation program across the department. And as we were rolling out, we had a teleconference. And one of the junior most guys, he stood up and he said, innovation requires time. Will you give me 1 day off in my schedule to innovate? I mean, that is another challenge. So my question is, how do you institutionalize innovation? I mean, at a personal level, how do you institutionalize?
Yeah, great point. So this is a very interesting point. Thanks for bringing it up. So what we do is when we start, let's say we bring a bunch of people and we talk to them about innovation, we do what we call as the barriers to innovation. It's a brainstorming session we hold. We ask people, why are you not innovating? Guess what is the number one barrier to innovation? What he just mentioned. I don't have time. So there is a list of 10 barriers to innovation that comes up every single time we have this discussion. It's unbelievable. You can do it. Just when you finish this class, do a barriers to innovations and tell me what are the top 10 things you find. I will send you my list. I guarantee you it is the same 10. It's funny, or it's not funny, it's something interesting why that happens. Why does that happen? Because this is the problem. This is why the innovation Pandit industry is taking us down the wrong path, I believe. If you were to produce innovation here, can you do it without spending time? No. Well, so when you ask the random person, hey, why are you not innovating? You are thinking here. Are you thinking over there? No. I am not saying this for the first time. How many of you have heard of total quality management? What is that founded upon? Total quality management is here. Yeah, but the innovation Pandit industry wouldn't take note of that because it doesn't get you going. If I talk about the iPod here, people will be fascinated. When I talk about incremental innovation, yeah, right. So that's the problem. So the Pandits are here. What the Pandits are saying is what the average people know. So they don't have time. Is that true? No. If you did Kaizen or continuous improvement, you actually gain time. Because you do improve your process, whatever it is, you gain time. What can you use that time for? You can do breakthrough innovation. Well, you can go home early to start with. Yes?
Just one observation about innovation, and it comes from my experience with PricewaterhouseCoopers before it was taken by IIM. And what I'm deducing from this is that there is another way to do innovation. I think I still see this largely being a top-down approach. Ideas may be bottom-down approach, but the way it's bubbled up, the way it's reviewed, etc., is top-down.
May not be entirely, but yeah, go ahead.
And an alternative way to do that was what I saw was that they have these local search databases where typically the issue that people have and where this incremental innovation is required is in your day-to-day work. Most people get stuck, okay, I'm not familiar with this work, I need to do it. And 85% of the time, someone else in the company has solved that problem. I think building an efficiency in the system to actually tap that will free up time and will in itself be innovation.
Yes. Great point. We do that. That is knowledge management.
Yes.
What we are talking about is, I will give you one simple example. There was one group which had a customer request. Every 2 weeks they would get a customer request to build a web-based site. And it used to take them 8 to 10 weeks to roll it out, test it. And one of the associates thought, wait a minute, this request keeps coming. They built a new website generating tool. So the customer gives the request, out comes the website. Is this a breakthrough innovation? Well,
I think so.
By way of impact, but it is a simple innovation. How many times Yahoo sites or whatever did this 50 years ago? Or whenever, I'm exaggerating. But the point is, there are so many such opportunities in every single client company of ours. Because IT is not. See, this is the problem. All top-down innovation programs tackle this. They are not tackling a 3-day building website, which top management will focus on that. So you need to have the bottom-up forces to tackle that. Well, if you want $1 billion, it's not cheap, it's $1 billion. It's not something that you can say, oh, I don't need it. You absolutely need it. $1 billion I would like to have. So that's how it gets done. Yeah.
So just wanted to know how you validate a particular value. Say for example, an innovation is done, and what is the framework? Who basically certifies this is the value which?
Yeah, good question. It's not an easy problem to solve. There's always debates. But what has started to happen is because there is this peer-based program going on. Recently, one of the accounts said, I have made a $750,000 innovation. They put it, but as soon as they put it in, their innovation index shot up because there is 50% weightage associated with the impact you are creating. Immediately all the peers jumped in and said, that can't be correct, show me the data. So they have to get customer verification for that value, those sorts of things happen. It will be remiss of me to tell you that we have a perfect method by which we can calculate this value. If you guys know some method that works in a foolproof method, tell me.
But in the case, practically, if you see, there are many customers who doesn't, even if there is a valid value for that. No customer, there are certain customers who doesn't want to give a quantification or a dollar value for anything which you give.
That's part of the change management. Everybody, see, even when we started, people don't. And here in this room, I doubt more than a few people agree with what I'm saying. So there is people.
Is there
it's
any
change?
Is there any second method of this thing other than the customer validating a value?
No, our guys will validate. We will review it amongst ourselves. We will review it. You can review a financial number and see whether it's accurate as best you can.
Financial?
It's simple, right? How many? I will give you guys a simple example. This website example I gave, it took 3 people, 4 people worth of effort for 12 weeks. How many hours is that? You can calculate that. We have average billing rate. Number of hours multiplied by average billing rate is dollars. I saved that. Times how many other websites I'm building times 3 years.
So
that's the dollar value. Can you argue with that? I don't think so. It's simple.
So this innovation and what delta increments, what the normal service company is doing is the same. If a quality improvements or anything which is being done, it is the same.
Yes, I think so. Only thing is we didn't take it as innovation. That's my problem. We call it service improvement or whatever it is. Yeah.
Just one thing, I mean, you were talking about barriers to innovation.
Yeah.
What are the other things in terms of the opposite? How do you motivate them? I mean, do you give, I mean, in terms of when you're asking them to say what is the financial impact, is there any revenue sharing model in terms of how you do that?
In the Cognizant capital, yes. Because there's a large impact. But for innovation, there is a whole, what is the term? R&R program. Rewards and recognition. Without that, you can't run any change management program. So there is a multi-modal change management, rewards and recognition program. You will most certainly get rewards, including for the top innovation of the year from $10,000 or something.
Yeah, I mean, just once. Other than monetary, is there any other way of...
Yes, that's why I say multi-modal.
Okay.
So there is recognition. You can have meet the CEO, there's all kinds of things. I'm sure you know what a multi-modal rewards are. It's not just money.
Yeah,
of course not. Money is one motivator. Yeah.
From the idea generator plan that was there, so is there anything that has come out as a growth engine for the company, like their mobility application, which is IP monetized? So
yeah, so that is where what our Cognizant Capital program is targeting. They have come up with 2 big ideas which are going to be, I am not allowed to talk about it, but there are 2 big innovations that will create new revenue for us. That is what it was designed to do, and I think it did. Yeah.
Sir, in the company I used to work before, we used to have this annual innovation conference, and typically every year we used to see this problem that if you compare, we used to do it across the globe, and what we used to see is that in India typically there used to be a lot of ideas submitted, maybe around, on an average 400, 500 ideas. If you compare that to US or Israel, you will see 6 or 7 ideas. But what used to happen is out of the 400 ideas, only 1 will probably reach the semi-final or final stage. But in US, Israel and other countries, out of those 5, 3 will reach the final or semi-final stage. So, when we analyze this, one of the problems that we faced is that in India, because of pressure of your manager that submit an idea, people used to submit anything or everything that they just wanted to, get into that. Okay, my name is there, I submitted an idea. So effectively, it's not quality innovation which is happening. And I don't know if, I just wanted to know from you, do you see a similar trend?
Excellent point. I'm glad you asked this question.
Yeah, and another, just a continue, what we've kind of further analyzed, what we saw is that because of this pressure on what we put on our Indian employees, innovation cannot happen under pressure. You cannot say within 2 days, you put something and so probably that was leading to this problem, and again there was no support from the ecosystem side. Your manager still would expect you to put 10-12 hours in office, and he would still expect you to do this in additional activity. So in a sense, you're telling some person to do an activity, but not really allocating time for it. So these are some of the challenges that we faced, whereas we didn't see similar things in other countries, where people were free. If they want to, they will do it. Otherwise, they will not kind of do it under any force. So what's your thought on this?
The answer is quite simple in my opinion. The reason that happens is you cannot just collect ideas. If I ask this room, give me ideas, in next 10 minutes I will have 1,000 ideas, which I won't know what to do. That's a basic problem in innovation management. You can't do that. We don't do that. We first find out what is the problem we are solving for our customers. Run that as a campaign. So there is a stakeholder assigned. I, as a delivery manager, practice said I want this problem solved. If a good idea comes, I will implement it. And how do we know it's a good idea? All the 400 ideas are rated by the crowd themselves. So management time is not wasted on looking through 50,000 ideas and saying which is it. So the crowd will rate it and bubble up the top few ideas. Then you review those top 5 ideas and say, go with that, or this, or both, whatever. Then you only implement that. See, the problem is the whole, how many of you have seen a suggestion box? I don't know whether IIM has one, but is there anywhere? What do you think happens if you submitted a suggestion into it?
It's lost.
Why? Why they don't have time? They ask you for suggestion.
Suggestion on what?
They're not focused.
Exactly. They don't know what. For example, we give this example in Cognizant all the time. If I had a suggestion box, what they will do? We need Sarana Bhavan to provide lunch or some such. Or they will say, I give this example. This conference room, it doesn't make these participants interact much. Let's redesign this conference room. That will be an idea that will be submitted to me. Well, if there was a campaign to redesign conference rooms by the admin department and this idea was submitted, that would get implemented. So it depends who is asking for what. So it always is important to drive the problem. I believe breakthrough innovation can be produced if you choose a sufficiently difficult problem. It's difficult to find what that problem is. That's why we can't do breakthrough innovation that easily. But if you look at what companies do, which are good at it, they identify what is the big problem we are trying to solve. For example, I want to feed all 500 million poor people in India without spending any money. If that is my problem and if I solve it, wouldn't that be a breakthrough innovation? I believe this can be done. So it depends and ask for ideas. From people you will get the smart ideas. There are many case examples of how crowds can work. Procter & Gamble is a famous example. There is this other Canadian mining company that Dan Tapscott talks about. You should look at that. It's a gold mining company. It's an unbelievable case study. They have gold sitting out there. They didn't know where it is. They opened up a competition and some Australian guy figured out what is the algorithm to find the gold, and they have been digging gold like crazy after that.
In Spanish, I don't find human resources very important input. Now, 50% of total budget gets spent on that, and if you can come out with some innovations in that front, I think you can substantially improve productivity of the system. One concern is about knowledge of the domain of the human field.
So where do you think HR should be added?
Not HR, I'm saying that input. You add talent because
that is our input, right? For Cognizant, that is input.
If you I'm saying that if you concentrate think about it, because you put technology, belief is that if you put technology there,
no, input/technology. This is for us, for Cognizant.
Another thing I believe is that for us to be really creating culture of innovation, the quality of learning about the client's domain is very important. Without that, it is difficult to call it an innovation actually to the client.
Yes.
So I don't know whether you like to believe that or you like to say that Cognizant spends more resources on helping its employees to learn about.
Yes. There is a big academy, there is an internal university, people learn, they get certified. All that, see, the more knowledge you have, the better you will be to innovate. A person with no knowledge of anything cannot produce any innovation. I doubt it. I am sure there is some exception somewhere. For the kind of business world that we are in, you need to have knowledge. But some of the innovations, while I say that, there are some trainees who have just joined the company who have come up with the innovations. They don't know anything. They just joined from college 6 months back. So we have to tap into that energy also. It's not, there is no one answer. Is it domain, is it technology, is it process, is it market facing, sustaining, enhancing, breakthrough? I want it all. I can't be in one.
And be that because of being a service business, you have some constraint, because tomorrow you may claim loudly that we have 5 million, the client says give 2.5 million client, but that's all to me.
That is a good point. So we have to, the thing is, customers are already writing innovation into the contract, and who gets the value? First of all, I believe I want to get to a state where I want to go to the customer at the front of the year and say, I will produce you $5 million worth of innovation. Will you give me half of it? The only reason I am even contemplating that conversation is I have a track record. I am confident my people will produce 5 million, 10 million. Then I have the conversation. If you have nothing and you go have that conversation, let me split this. And we are a services industry. Customers are not likely to listen to it when they are being fed by the innovation punditry about this. They don't even consider some of what we are saying as innovation. But when the dollars add up, it's hard to ignore. Toyota implements 1 million ideas a year. Can that be ignored? No. When you implement 5 ideas, yeah, fine. But million, you have to sit up and take more. Yes.
Question. I think the kind of innovation model that Cognizant uses systemic. I'm very impressed. But question is that although this is focused on improving your current operations, innovation from within, how does Cognizant handle those areas which are outside of its domain, which may affect your business in the future?
Not sure I agree with you. I told you, right? Breakthrough innovations are going to be adjacency markets. All those are market-facing innovation. I want that too. I have groups. I told you, right? All these groups.
So that's the external ecosystem. Your practice
Yes,
innovation.
the partners, the customers, the academia.
Will be the.
So somebody asked me the question about how to interact with the ecosystem. I have maybe 7 more minutes. I thought I will answer this question. The thing that we found is when you go to your partners and academia, you can't go to them with the problem directly. You have to generalize the problem. This is something that we learned from the innovation methodology called trees. Anybody heard this? It's a Russian method called trees. Right, so what does that tell you? You have to first take a problem, you generalize it, look where the problem to that generalized problem was solved, take that solution, specificize that solution back into your context and implement. So trees claims that it can produce breakthrough innovations like a system. It isn't clear how that trees can be applied in the services industry because it's more manufacturing focused, I believe. So we are trying to apply to see how in a services context. So we have copied some of the ideas, like generalizing the problem, having an idea catalog, having a catalog of reusable assets, all that, some of those ideas are from trees. Yeah.
So I'm sure you must be having some non-linear initiatives. So do they fold under this or do you run it separately?
All these groups don't report to me. If I gave you that impression, I am sorry. None of these groups report to me actually. These are all various parts of the organization engaged in the problem of innovation.
So do you run it as a separate initiative or does it come under your?
No, every practice is looking at non-linear innovations, practice innovation groups. And the Cognizant Cloud is also an innovation thing, it's a program that's looking at non-linear. There's also another program called Cognizant Cloud, which is our, we are trying to offer business process as a service. See, we are not a product company, we can offer cloud product, but we are saying we will give you a service. For example, we will take a business process and give you, host that process on the Cognizant Cloud, also give you the KPO people, take over your entire business process and run it on a transaction basis or outcome oriented as they call it. So then we deal in headphones and revenue because it's outcome based. Yeah.
So this top right quadrant that you mentioned, market facing and breakthrough innovation, the kind of DNA you need to push through those initiatives are quite different from your service-based organization, okay? Because you have to consistently push it through and take it to the market. How do you ensure that those DNAs are not diluted through the rest of the service kind of?
That's what it. See, who has produced breakthrough innovations in the world so far? Generally speaking. No, I'm not talking about companies. Within companies, which parts of the organization produce breakthrough innovation? R&D. Right? So how do you dilute the DNA of R&D? The only way is you can cut down the expense and you can kill R&D, like some companies have recently done and woke up to that in a rude manner. But there is an exclusive group focusing on innovation. All these groups are exclusive groups. Will their DNA get diluted? I don't know. They select people using a specific, do you have this? For example, he said, the people in the practice innovation group will be experts in the domain, experts in the technology. So you are creating an exclusive group. So they come with the breakthrough idea and that gets implemented in the rest of the organization. So their group is that comes up with the idea and implements it, pilots it, and then rolls it out. So I don't see the DNA getting corrupted. The DNA question is how can I move people, all people to breakthrough?
Right.
That is the DNA question. And my answer is you start from lower left corner. Don't land here because it's very frustrating and you may never get that. Yeah. We'll ask question from that.
Sir, can you please illustrate some innovations that have happened in your company recently which have been instrumental in your progress?
I just mentioned one. Cognizant 2.0 is one breakthrough innovation. Cognizant Cloud, we believe, is a breakthrough innovation. There are two major innovations come out of the Cognizant Capital program. There is a concept lab in my group. They have come out with an innovation around text mining. There is just a long list of things. It will not be making sense at this time to tell you the laundry list of innovations. We are cataloging all this. There's a database. We will track it. Yeah.
A large part of driving innovation like this on an organization-wide basis also talks about, I'm just using the word again, changing the DNA of the organization. It's about changing the culture of the organization. Can you talk to us about the journey that you've taken in terms of touching the human aspects or embracing the human aspect? I think it could start with things like changing your appraisal process, getting into your appraisal, essentially driving it down to people.
That's that.
Okay, it's not part of appraisal.
No, I don't. I was faced with this question even during my knowledge management days. Because it's a school of thought, I believe. There is one school of thought that will tell you the only way you can change behavior is by making it part of the appraisal. I don't believe that. So at every instance I argue the other way.
It becomes forced behavior.
Yeah, that forces people. That doesn't produce long-term change. It may take longer, but I will produce a more effective, more qualitative outcome. Which is what I think is more important.
I guess we'll take two more questions.
Yeah. I'm not sure we can even take two. It's 11:12 over that. 3 more minutes. I can take one question. Yeah. Does that answer your question? This is the whole change management program. Every single thing is human aspect.
I think it's great because what I see is that it's more positive oriented rather than if you put an appraisal it can get a negative connotation. You have to produce something.
Very good point. So I believe in the thing. I study change management for a living. I believe knowledge management or innovation or any such thing is organization behavior and change management. Positive reinforcements are the only way. Negative reinforcements don't work for more than 2 hours. So that is out. So we have to look for positive reinforcements. With that, I close the session and hand it back to Ravi.
again because he has an extremely busy schedule and he made time changing some of his other engagements to join us today.
It's my privilege to be here.
Thank you very much. Swati, hand over a brief moment to him.